This episode of Benny's Podcast is sponsored by Kellogg's, the best deal this morning. Kellogg's. Hey guys, Andy here. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of Benny's Podcast Hour. Sorry for the lack of podcast episodes because I've been lazy. So in this episode, I've been watching these, hang on. I'm watching these voice actor videos for cartoons like Mel Blanc, June Foray, Daws, Butler, Messick. Yeah, from a YouTube channel called Saturday Morning Rewind. It got me thinking. Why not do an episode only for cartoon voice actors? So why not? So I'll be discussing it. I'll be discussing a few of them, or I don't know how many I'll discuss. But let's start with Mel Blanc. For those of you who don't know who Mel Blanc is, he voices Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Foghorn Leghorn, Porky Pig, and basically the majority of voices in the Looney Tunes. And plus he voices others such as Heathcliff, like this cat thing, and hold on, let's see, Mel Blanc. Mel Blanc. Let's see, Mel Blanc. Yeah, that's him right there. That's Mel Blanc. Yeah, he let's see, hang on. Come on. Yeah, voices Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Sylvester, Tweety, Yosemite Sam, Foghorn Leghorn, Marvin the Martian, Pepe Le Pew, Speedy Gonzales, Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner, and Tasmanian Devil. Yeah, he was born in 1908 and died in 1989. He is the man of 1,000 voices. Yeah, he's acted from 1927 till 1989. So he voiced Mr. Spacely in the Jetsons, and he did voice Elmer Fudd. That was done by Arthur Q. Bryan. He voices Elmer Fudd like, "Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits." I can't do it. Yeah. He voiced Mr. Spacely in the Jetsons. Yeah, he voiced Barney Rubble in the Flintstones, Mr. Spacely in the Jetsons, also Woody Woodpecker, if you guys didn't know that. Yeah, he was in radio work. And also he voiced Private Snafu during World War II. Plus he voiced Bugs Bunny. Yeah. What's up, Jack? So, not only did Looney Tunes voices, but he did voices in another cartoon such as Dino from the Flintstones, Secret Squirrel, Speed Buggy, and Captain Caveman. Also voices from Gator and Penelope Pitstop. Yeah, also he gets this. He was in a car crash with a car driven by 18-year-old college student Arthur Ralston on Sunset Boulevard. Ralston suffered minor injuries, but Blanc was rushed to the UCLA Medical Center with a triple skull fracture. And get this, after about 2 weeks after the accident, one of Blanc's neurologists tried a different approach. Blanc was asked, "How are you feeling today, Bugs Bunny?" You see, if you ask a major voice actor, say how you doing in the character, and just find out how are you. The doctor asked if Tweety was there too. I thought I saw a booty tag. Yeah. That's Mel Blanc again in 1976. Plus, I think he starred in an American Express commercial but I didn't what I didn't find footage. Uh, yep, he was in American Express. I was right on that one. See, how it's prevention. That's the 1980s, the Golden Age era.
It's like organized crime. It really is.
Yeah, he was in.
That 29-year-old.
He voiced a robot in Buck Rogers in 25th and a half century, or 25th century, my bad. And also he voiced Heathcliff in the early 1980s.
I don't know. They lost it. But they never been taught anything else.
Yeah, he was in Who's Been Roger Rabbit in 1988, and Blank died just a year after the Jetsons the movie back in 1990. And I think it was dedicated to George O'Hanlon, the voice of George Jetson, and Mel Blanc, the voice of Mr. Spacely. In 1962, Mel and his son Noel formed Blanc Communications Corporation, a media company which remains in operation to this very day. Mel and his son produced over 5,000 PSA, so that's gotta be a record in of itself. Yeah, Kirk Douglas, Phyllis Diller, Vincent Price, Lucille Ball, and that's right there. That's what it says on his tombstone. That's all, folks. That's what it says on his tombstone. Jesus. No, that was Mel Blanc. Now, the next one is June Foray. For those who don't know who she is, she voiced Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle. So Cindy Lou Who from the Grinch Stole Christmas, Jokey Smurf, and Granny from Looney Tunes. For those who didn't realize, she died in 2017. She was 99 at the time. R.I.P. June Foray. And that's her. For those who don't know who she is, that's her right there. Jesus. So yeah, Tweety Bird, Witch Hazel, Jokey Smurf. Yeah, my bad. And that's her again in 1978. Alright, so she worked in Hanna-Barbera Productions. Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, The Jetsons, and the Flintstones. She auditioned for Betty Rubble on the Flintstones. Yeah, well, the Flagstones. Well, that was the pilot episode. She voiced Betty Rubble in the pilot episode. Jesus Christ. Yeah, she voiced Natasha Patel. Yep. Yeah, these three guys right here. Yeah, she was the antagonist. Yep, June Foray. Jesus Christ, ghouls, man. She voiced Granny in Looney Tunes. She voiced Granny in the Looney Tunes show. Yeah, also she voiced in The Simpsons as like the CEO of like a babysitting service or something. Yeah, she voiced Natasha, Rocky Bullwinkle. That's her again in 2014. See, it's over time, you know. She voiced Granny in Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries. And she was in the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. Also, she Also, she voiced again in Family Guy. And she was in Baby Looney Tunes. She reprised her role in the Looney Tunes show back in 2011. In 2012, Foray received her first Emmy nomination and won the category of Outstanding Performer in an Animated Program. Mrs. Cauldron as a witch on the Garfield show. So, also with her death, July 26, 2017, Foray died of a hospital in LA. The age of 99, just 2 months before her 100th birthday. So she was the oldest voice actor out there. Decline in health since an automobile accident in 2015. So automobile accident plus decline in health, that sucks. Next up, he's the voice of Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear, and Mr. Jinx. I'm referring to Daws Butler. Yep, voiced Liberty the Loop, Wally Gator, Yogi Bear, or Jetson. Yep, voiced that. And Huckleberry Hound. Yep, that's it. That's Daws Butler right there. What the fuck is that? My hair. I have no idea. Yeah, voice of Yogi Bear. So Butler provided many nameless Walt's Lance characters in Woody Woodpecker. And he voiced Huckleberry Hound. Also used the same voice for like a laid back wolf character and Huckleberry Hound. Huckleberry Hound! Yeah, I might discuss that in a future episode. So he voiced Barney Rubble, and also he voiced Cam Crunch, Coswell Cogs, Howard Jetson, Fred Flintstone, Huckleberry Hound, Mr. Jinx, Quick Draw McGraw, also voicing Christmas commercials too, and Snagglepuss. Exit! States left even! Jeez. Oh god. He voiced Wally Gator, and who else? Yogi Bear! Oh god, yeah, Yogi Bear. One thing though. Yeah, he voiced Captain Crunch, and he voiced Rock Slag, Big Gruesome, the Red Max, Sergeant Blast, Peter Perfect, and Rufus Rough Cut, and Wacky Races. Plus, he voiced the Penguin and Turtle in Mary Poppins. Along with Mel Blanc, Stan Freberg, Paul Frees, the voice of Ludwig von Drake, and Jim Foray. Butler provided voice for countless children's records featuring recreations of several successful Disney cartoons and films. And get this, he voiced Snagglepuss in a few commercials of Cow's Cocoa Krispies. It tastes like chocolate milk or crunchy. I'm Yogi Bear. And he was in Laugh Olympics, plus he voiced the Funky Phantom. And the Funky Phantom. So Butler remained somewhat low-key in the 1970s and 80s until a revival of the Jetsons back in 1995 and Hanna-Barbera's Yogi's Treasure Hunt. 1975 began an acting workshop sponsored stars as Corey Burton, Nancy Cartwright, Bill Farmer, Pat Paris, Tony Pope, Linda Gary, Bob Bergen, and a few others. In the year of his death, The Good, the Bad, and the Huckleberry Hound was released. That sucks. He died from a heart attack May 18, 1988. That sucks right there. So that was Mel Blanc, June Foray, and Daws Butler. Next up, Don Messick, the voice of Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And Major Smith. Don Messick. Yep. That's him right there. That's Don Messick. So he voiced Bam Bam, Scooby-Doo, Astro, Molly Mikey Races, Boo Boo, Ranger Smith, Sebastian the Cat, and Josie and the Pussycats, and Papa Smurf, and among others. Get this, he was a ventriloquist and even supported himself as one for a time. At age 15, Messick performed in front of the program manager and chief announcer at a radio station. He joined the U.S. Army, performing for troops as part of special services. Messick's first big break came from his help by Mutual Broadcasting. An MGM Text Avery was producing the Droopy cartoons. On the regular voice, Bill Thompson. I'll discuss him in a minute. Avery hired Messick after Daws Butler, who voice characters suggested to him. So he was he was like a live-action host for Rough and Ready. He voiced Boo Boo, Ranger Smith, Pixie, Astro, and Dr. Ben Quest, among others. He took the roles of Adam Ant too. After after Howard Morris has Ernest T. Bass. Yep. Yeah, he voiced Adam Ant, you know. Also voiced Mr. Peebles in the McGill Gorilla Show. He voiced Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? He voiced Scrappy-Doo. And he voiced Spot the Cat in Hong Kong Phooey. He voiced in Yogi's Laugh Olympics, Yogi's Treasure Hunt, and the new Yogi Bear Show. I also voiced Papa Smurf in the Smurfs. I also voiced Hampton J. Pig in Tiny Toon Adventures. Also, he voiced Droopy in Tom and Jerry the Kids, and Droopy Master Detective. Yeah, Don Messick is probably the best voice actor yet because he voiced Scooby-Doo, he voiced Ranger Smith, Dr. Ben Quest, and among others, you know. You have to put the camera towards me. So he voiced Pixie, Boo Boo Bear, Ranger Smith, Narrator, and Dingling Wolf. He voiced Quick John McGraw. He voiced Bam Bam. He voiced Top Cat. He voiced Astro. He voiced Dr. Ben Quest, The Adam Ant Show. He voiced in Frankenstein Jr. and The Impossibles. Next up, it was the voice of Shaggy Rogers and Alexander Josie and the Pussycats. Like so, Scoop. I'm referring to Casey Kasem. Yep, that's Casey Kasem right there, guys. Yep, he voiced Shaggy Rogers. Alright, so let's see. So Kasem's voice was key in his career. At the end of the 60s, he began working as a voice actor. In 1969, he started one of the most famous roles, the voice of Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? He voiced a drummer in a show called the Chattanooga Cats, I think. Also, he was a DJ at the time. Plus, get this, he was a vegan. He was a vegetarian. Yeah, he wanted Shaggy to follow suit. So yeah, during the yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a later episode too. He voiced Peter and Peter Cottontail. He voiced Alexander and Josie the Pussycats. Also, he voiced Robin and Batman. He voiced Robin. And get this, 1997, Kasem quit his role in Shaggy in the dispute over a Burger King commercial. All that for a Burger King commercial? That was back in 1997 too. I wasn't even born yet. Yeah, he voiced Shaggy again in 2002 until his retirement in 2009. With his final performance in Shaggy and Scooby-Doo and the Samurai Sword. But he did Shaggy again for the official BBC Children Need medley, but he was uncredited at his request. That sucks. Although he officially retired from voice acting, Kasem provided the voice of Colton Rogers, Shaggy's father. Yeah, I could tell. Scooby-Doo, Mr. Incorporated. Again, he was uncredited at request. He was a devout vegan, supported animal rights and environmental causes, was credited at the factory farming. He initially quit voice acting in the 1990s because a Burger King commercial, but he returned in 2002. And, oh boy, yeah, he was acting in politics. And I screwed it up. Yeah, he supported Lebanese American and Arab American causes. An interest triggered by the 1982 Israeli invasion of Lebanon. Yeah. He called for a fair depiction of heroes and villains in Disney's called The Return of Jafar. Jesus. He campaigned against the Gulf War, advocating non-military means to suppress Saddam Hussein until he was drawn from Kuwait. He was advocating Palestinian independence and arranged conflict resolution between Arab Americans and Jewish Americans. A political liberal, Kasem narrated a campaign after George McGovern's 1972 campaign, hosted fundraising for Jesse Jackson's presidential campaigns 1994 and 1998. Yep. Serious. Yep. I didn't know Shaggy was a liberal. He supported Ralph Nader in 2000 and Dennis Kunitschek in his 2004 and 2008 presidential campaigns. He also supported a number of progressive causes, including affordable housing rights for the homeless. In October 2013, Carrie Kasem said that her dad was suffering from Parkinson's disease. That's what my grandpa had. Doctor that diagnosed in 2007. It was worse than back in 2013, and he died in 2014, no doubt. That sucks. Kasem's wife, Jean, had interred in also Western Civil Cemetery, December 6, 2014. That sucks. Yeah, Kasem is what it was good voice actor for Shaggy, cause it's the original voice for Shaggy. No voice actor for Shaggy can top that. You know, you can't top that. Now let's see. Now what? What's up next? Alright, now let's see. So I did Daws, Butler, Casey Kasem, Mel Blanc, and June Foray, and a few others. Alright. Next up is Tress MacNeille. Tress MacNeille. And that's her right there. Yeah, next up it'll be Cass Soucy next. Voiced in Simpsons, Futurama, Hey Arnold, Tiny Toon Adventures, Rugrats, Animaniacs, and Disney's House of Mouse. And alright, so here we go. She voiced Babs Bunny in Tiny Toon Adventures. She voiced Agnes Skinner in The Simpsons. And also voiced a character called Mom in Futurama. Originality much Futurama, originality much. She voiced Charlotte Pickles and Rugrats, Chip and Gadget and Chip and the Rescue Rangers, Hysteria, Hey Arnold, as well as dubbing work on English language anime translations. Yeah. Plus, I might do Peter Fernandez next. Yeah, after Cass Soucy and Peter Fernandez. She's the current voice of Daisy Duck and Woman Flintstone in the Flintstones. She voiced, here we go, Agnes Skinner, Seymour Skinner's elderly ma. Yeah, Agnes Skinner. For God's sake, man. She voiced, let's see, Bernice Hibbert. She's the wife of Julius Hibbert in The Simpsons. Mona Simpson, Homer Simpson's mom. Crazy Cat Lady. Who else? Oh boy, I might butcher this. So, word of warning. It's mine. Oh boy, here we go. Manjula Nasa P. Metalon. Oh god, I think just butchered that, you know? She voiced Nelson Muntz's mom, Mrs. Muntz. And she voiced Mom from Futurama. Tiny Tim. Really? Yeah, like Tiny Tim in Futurama. She voiced Fanny, wife of Dombot. Nid, that's Laura's wife. It's the Swim Queen and Gunther. And she voiced Babs Bunny, Marshall the Martian. That's from Tiny Toon's Adventures. She voiced in Space Jam, Looney Tunes Back in Action. She voiced Penelope Pussycat and Cara Blanca. She voiced Soccer Mom in Tom and Jerry, Fast and the Furious, Wilma Flintstone, Rosie the Robot, additional voice in the Looney Tunes show, and Sarah Ravencroft in Scooby the Witch's Ghost. And she voiced additional voices Lion King, Kronk's New Groove, Daisy Duck, who else? Chip and Gadget, Chip and Dale, and who else? She voiced Janet Wilson in the BJ and Wally show, Johnny Baby Smurfly in the Smurfs, additional voice in the Yogi Bear show. And she voiced Charlotte Pickles and All Grown Up in Rugrats, Grant and Amanda, Annabelle and Aunt Carrie, and Jimmy Neutron. She voiced, let's see, who else? Oh boy. She voiced a lot of them. Also, she voiced an anime. Next up, Cass Soucy. There's no picture of her, so yeah. Alright, so here we go. She voiced Dexter's mom in Dexter's Live the Ego Trip. And hang on. Alright, she voiced Tuffy in a few Tom and Jerry movies, like Tom and Jerry Meet Sherlock Holmes, Tom and Jerry Meet in the Wizard of Oz, Tom and Jerry's Giant Adventure, Back to Oz, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now she voiced the Smurfs. She voiced the Pup Named Scooby-Doo. She voiced, let's see, Cindy Bear in Wake, Rattle, Roll. She voiced, Viva La Fuma in Tiny Toon Adventures. She voiced, Cindy Bear, Secret Squirrel, and Yo Yogi. She voiced in Rugrats. She voiced in Space Cats. She voiced in Goof Troop. She voiced in Two Stupid Dogs. She voiced in RL Monsters. She voiced in Daisy Duck in the Quack Pack. She voiced, let's see, she voiced in Dexter's Lab. Yeah, she voiced all these characters in Dexter's Laboratory. Jesus. She voiced Betty Rubble in Dexter's Lab. She voiced she voiced she voiced in the Powerpuff Girls. She voiced Little Muriel in Courage the Cowardly Dog. She voiced Cuba Farnsworth in Futurama. She voiced Jed and Jed's mom from Cliff the Big Red Dog. Yeah, I thought her voice sounded familiar, you know. Let's see, she voiced Kanga, Bimbette in Disney's House of Mouse. She voiced in What's New Scooby-Doo. She voiced Betty Quinlan in Jimmy Neutron. Let's see. She voiced Daffodil in Clifford's Puppy Days. She voiced XJ2, XJ4, XJ5, and My Life as a Teenage Robot. She voiced Now Grown Up. She voiced Maddie Fenton. That's gotta be Danny's mom. And Danny Phantom. She voiced in let's see. She voiced Lizzie's sister in Operation Girlfriend in Conan Kids Next Door. See, she voiced in Chowder. Nan Blake, that's from Scooby Mystery Inc. She voiced in Tuffy, Mimi, and Claire, Gazette, Tom Jerry Show. She voiced the new Looney Tunes, Lola Bunny. What, Lola Bunny in the new Looney Tunes? She voiced the president in the new Looney Tunes. Yeah, it's female president in Looney Tunes. I think, yeah, I'll just discuss that one later. And in a future episode. Seriously. She voiced in The Loud House, and she voiced in some other show. I have no idea. Also, she voiced Lola Bunny in Space Jam. Wait, did she, did she voice in Space Jam? Give me a minute. See, movies, here we go. Yep, Space Jam, yep, got it. Alright, next up is Peter Fernandez, who voiced Speed Racer and Racer X in Speed Racer. Peter Fernandez. Yep, that's him, that's his grandkid too, that's Peter Fernandez. Yeah, he was, he translated the English language version of the theme of this theme song. He died in 2010. That sucks. So Fernandez was known for his voice work, being heard in English adaptations from many foreign films. He voiced Speed Racer in 1967, and him and Mr. Spritle in Speed Racer: The Next Generation. I know Speed's younger brother Sparta was the headmaster. Yeah, I knew. Well, when I watched Speed Racer: The Next Generation, I know that voice was familiar. Yeah, he voiced Racer X. Also, he was in the live action Speed Racer film. Sparta's like a racing announcer. He was the voice director for Curse the Calorie Dog. He also said as his favorite. He made cameos as additional characters in several episodes. He was dubbing for Astro Boy, Gigantor, Marine Boy, Starblaze, and Superbook. And that adds Peter Fernandez on the left as Kareem Orr, voice of Trixie on the right. He voiced in Animaniacs. He voiced a few voices in Curse the Calorie Dog. Also, he voiced in Titan Adventures. Yeah, he voiced. Yeah, he written the Speed Racer theme song. Yeah, I might discuss Speed Racer in a future episode, but for now. But for now, yeah. But for now, let's just continue on. Yeah, on the subject of Speed Racer, Kareem Orr. Hold on a second. Wait a second. Speed Racer. Alright. Give me a second here. Let's see. Give me a minute here. Hang on a second. Give me a second here, guys. See ya. Second. See, oh no. Now, Kareem Orr. She's a Canadian and American stage, radio, film, TV actress and voice actress, and she voiced Trixie in Speed Racer. Orr became involved in children's theater beginning at the age of 10, with her first role being Alice in Wonderland. After she began taking elocution lessons due to her French accent and started to develop her repertoire for voices, she's working at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation as well as stage theaters. She worked alongside William Shatner. Yeah, and that's Kareem Orr right there, the voice of Trixie. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh wait a second. Oh, damn. So she worked in radio and TV as a voice artist. She was the voice of Snuggle Bear in those Snuggle commercials. And she read Alec E. Brandenburg's Mummy's Man in Egypt for the PBS series Reading Rainbow, and participated in a redubbing of an episode of Late Night with Dave Letterman. And she voiced Trixie in Speed Racer, Speed's girlfriend. and also all the female characters in the series too, as well as the voice of Speed's kid brother Spritle, who had a raspy voice, which became a hit and cult title in the United States. Following the release of Speed Racer the movie, together with fellow voice actor Peter Fernandez, she went on a Child Safety Network sponsored tours around the country with the Mach 5 to promote for kids' safety. Yeah, she voiced Popeye Meets the Man Who Hated Laughter. She voiced Olive Oil and a few others. Grand Prix female announcer Trixie Sparrow Mom Racer. She voiced Peter J. Otter, Wanda Raccoon, and a few others. Yeah, she voiced Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Sesame Street, and a few others. And let's see, there's Peter Fernandez, Corinne Orr, Jack Grimes, and Jack Grimes. Yeah, he voiced Sparky in Speed Racer. There's not. I think there's not much for Jack Grimes, but in 1962, Grimes and Peter Fernandez worked together in a series of records for MGM. 5 years later, Fernandez hired him to do voices of Sparky and Chim Chim on Speed Racer. Yeah, he voiced Chim Chim and Sparky, along with the villains in Speed Racer. See, who else voiced Speed Racer? Let me see. See Speed Racer. I think. See, hang on a minute. Let's see, who are the characters? Who voiced Pops Racer? Let's see, names, audience. Let's see, Spritle. Yep, Pops Racer. Jack Curtis voiced Pops Racer. So let's see. Curtis was hired to dub voice for the anime series Speed Racer with Peter Fernandez. He voiced Pops Racer and Inspector Detective. Also, he voiced the announcer in every single episode of Speed Racer. Yep. Pops Racer, Inspector Detective, and a sort of villains along with the announcer. Yep, all four Speed Racer voice actors. Next up is Paul Frees. I might do two more. That's about it. Yep. Solomon Hirsch Frees, or Paul Frees. So he was drafted into World War II, where he fought in Normandy on D-Day. He attended the Chouinard Art Institute on the GI Bill. So he voiced Ludwig von Drake in the Disney anthology TV series Disney's Wonderful World of Color, I think. He voiced Grimsley in Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Also voiced Burgermeister Meisterburger in that same film. He voiced Santa and Frosty the Snowman, Eon the Terrible, Rudolph Shining New Year, Cam Jones, and Mouse on the Mayflower. And he voiced the Sea Captain and others, including on the Hearth and others. He voiced the traffic cop and ticket taker and Frosty the Snowman. Santa Claus is coming to town. The Kringle brothers, Summertown civilian, Programmatic soldiers, physician. He voiced Jack Frost in Winter Wonderland. He voiced Santa, General Ticker, Ian the Terrible, and Humpty Dumpty. He voiced Jack Frost, Winterbolt, and a cop in Rudolph and Frost's Christmas in July. And among others. God. Also voiced in Blue Cat Blues. And it's one of the Tom Jerry cartoons. He was Jerry's voice who narrated the short. He also voiced Jerry's cousin Muscle in Jerry's Cousin. Also his mouse Friday. He said, barbecue cat. At the MGM Animation Studio, he also did multiple roles. Also, he provided the voice of John Lennon and George Harrison in the 1965 in the Beatles cartoon. He is a narrator, Big D, and Fluid Man in the Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles. And he was also voiced commercials such as the Pittsburgh Doughboy, the 7-Up Bird from Fresh Up Freddy, Fruit Loops, Toucan Sam, previously voiced by Mel Blanc. I forgot to mention that. But, well, Mel Blanc voiced Toucan Sam in the first commercial, I think. Later voiced by Release of the Marsh. Boo Berry in the series of Monster Steel commercials. The farmer helps the little green sprout. And he voiced, let's see. See what else we got. Let's see. First Life and Death, filmography. See, film, TV. See, he voiced Donald Duck in one episode. He voiced Rocky Bullwinkle. Also, what? Even was Boris. For one thing, though. He voiced Mr. Granite Rockenspiel TV announcer and then Bedrock. He voiced in Top Cat. He voiced in let's see. I Dream of Genius. He's the narrator. The Animated Show, Squiddly Diddly, and the Animated Secret Squirrel Show. He voiced John Lennon and George Harrison and the Beatles, and also the cartoon. He voiced Fluid Man, Professor Stretch, Captain Kidd, Artful Archer, Dr. Futuro in the Impossibles. He voiced Zeron and Brago in Space Ghost. He voiced Sea Captain Carl and others in Cricket on the Hearth. He voiced The Thing in the Fantastic Four. He voiced a guy talking to the Pink Panther, Texan Hunter and the Pink Panther in one episode. He voiced Santa Claus and Traffic Cop and Frosty the Snowman. He voiced Inspector Fanwick and initial voice in the narrator and Dudley Do-Right. And he voiced Santa Claus is Coming to Town, newsreel announcer Grimsby, Trooper, additional voices, Scrooge, and the Kringle Brothers. What the Scrooge? What the? Yep, he was in that show. Here comes Peter Cottontail. He voiced Santa Claus, Man Thanksgiving Table, Colonel Bunny's assistant, and he voiced in the Jackson 5. That's additional voices. Voiced in the Osmonds. There's additional voices. He voiced FDR in Wonder Woman. For those who didn't realize, voiced the new original Wonder Woman. He voiced FDR. What? Jesus Christ. And he voiced Ian the Terrible, Santa Claus, and General Ticker, and Ralph Shiny New Year. He voiced the Pink Panther Laugh in the Half Hour and a Half show. And he voiced Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey as All-Out Donkey Dealer. He voiced Rudolph and Frosty Christmas in July, Jack Frost, Arthur Kelly, Winterbolt, Genie and the Ice Scepter, Keeper of the Cave, Love Lost Projections. And he voiced the Wind and Willows. And alright. Alright, now let's see who's next. Let me see. Let's see, Terrorstrom. I might do Maurice LaMarche. In fact, I might do it. You know, just see Maurice LaMarche. He did like a it did a voiceover in one of the trailers of Forza Horizon 4. If you don't believe me, hang on. I'll search. Here, I'm laughing outside. Let's see, Maurice LaMarche. See Maurice LaMarche. Forza. Yeah, Forza. Yeah, you see, yeah, I saw the trailer for Forza Horizon 4 on YouTube, and, yeah, if Maurice LaMarche was on there, I'd say, screw it, I might get it. He also a bunch of content. We know a video game in Great Britain every July. Peace brother. Do you really mean that? That's from Bob's show right there. He's a YouTuber. He'd be coming to that. Also, he voiced Orson Welles. Stupid, impossible, meaningless. Also, he voiced freaking Dombot. Yeah, he voiced Father and Couldn't Kids Next Door. Yeah, I might do like a that's like a theory, in a future episode. Oh God. Hey Grandma, I hear you laughing. Who's talking to you? Hi, Jeanette.
She said, we're not crazy, we're just going there. Oh, dear.
And I am back. So, Maurice LaMarche. He voiced Pinky and Pinky and the Brain. Alright, screw it. See Maurice LaMarche. Alright. And that's him. Right there, that's him. So he voiced various characters Futurama won an Emmy. Also he was born in Canada. That's him in 2006. Yep, that's him. Alright. So let's see. Now he voiced Tiny Toon Adventures, Tasmania, Where's Waldo, Batman the Animated Series. He voiced Mortimer Mouse, and also he voiced the House of Mouse. He voiced Futurama, The Simpsons. He parodied Orson Welles. His most recent voice was from Cat Scratch, from Ho's the Butler. Seriously. He voiced Yosemite Sam in Looney Tunes. He voiced Pinky and Pinky and the Brain. And also, he voiced Orson Welles again. Seriously. Voicing Brain gave LaMarche the opportunity to make his own signature impersonation of Welles. Many Pinky and the Brain episodes are nods to Welles' career. he was following Conan Kids Next Door. I might do a theory on that. You know, he voiced Kif and Kakulan, Morbo, and Lur, and yeah, and Futurama. Hang on. Yeah.
We just reminisce, honey, because we were so close and she's only a year older than me. All through high school and everything, we went to date a different guy. We double dated, you know.
I heard you laughing.
Oh, she said, she just screams about some of the pictures I sent her of her when she had a cigarette like this.
Yeah, I heard you laughing.
I know, sweetie. I go crazy. We're just going there. We're not crazy yet.
No, not yet though.
Always fun. It's always good to laugh, though, isn't it, honey?
Yeah. Man, also, right on the speaker. And I am back again. Alright, here we go. Alright. Alright, also he also did films. He did the voice of Alec Baldwin puppet in Team American World Police. And also here we go in commercials. And one of them may shock you. He did the voice of Toucan Sam in Kellogg's Fruit Loops, the animated Willy Wonka character in Nestle's Willy Wonka Candy Company. He did the narrator for Lexus commercials. He also appeared as himself doing the voice of Popeye for Long John Silver's. And get this, on September 8th, 2018, LaMarche was featured in a commercial for the upcoming open world driving game Forza Horizon 4. I didn't know Father from Conan Kids Next Door was offered a deal to voice a trailer for Forza Horizon 4. Because of that, because of that commercial, I got Forza Horizon 4. Seriously. So that about does it for this episode of Forza. No, we got Forza Horizon 4 on print. Screw it. That about does it for this episode of Eddie's Podcast Hour. This episode is brought to you by Kellogg's. Start your day each morning with Kellogg's. The best to you each morning. Alright, that about does it for this episode. Join us next time where I do a theory on Conan Kids Next Door. And that's all, folks. Later, dudes. Bye-bye.